WNRI's Upfront. The opinions expressed represent those only of the panel and callers and do not reflect the views of WNRI or American Independent Radio Incorporated. Telephone lines are now open at 769-0600. If you're calling from the Greater Providence area, call toll-free at 274-4270. And now, let's join the Upfront panel.
To Upfront, the radio cable talk show, where your calls and comments are always welcome. And this morning we hope we'll be joined by Domina Jalbert, a gentleman who I'm looking forward to meeting. I've read so much about him. I've heard about him over the years, and he has been visiting the Woonsocket area to accept an award from the Rhode Island Heritage Group, and got into the Hall of Fame Sunday night. I want to ask him about that and about his life, some of the people that he knows. All that should be happening this morning on Upfront, the radio cable talk show. Welcome back to Upfront, the radio cable talk show, where your calls and comments are always welcome. Well, it's really a pleasure for me to introduce this gentleman, because even when I was a youngster growing up in Woonsocket, I heard his name mentioned around the house. It was all nice stuff, Mr. Jalbert, no question about that. And as I grew up, I heard more about him, and to see that he was recognized recently by the Heritage Hall of Fame was a nice honor. Domina Jalbert is with us. Good morning, sir. Welcome to our show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here. How did Mr. Ben Mondor do in giving that award to you? He read a little bit about your life the other night at that ceremony.
That's right.
Did he do a good job? Did he have all the details right? Did he make any mistakes?
To have all the details, you would need a book.
You would. It's been that interesting a life?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, a lot of our people would like to say hello to you, people who are out in the audience. So we're going to take our first call, and then I've got a few questions for you, okay?
I'd be welcome.
Okay, let's say hello to this person. Hello, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. I just heard my number call.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure it was your Social Security? Oh, yeah? What's your name?
Dolores Schlosser.
And are you from Bellingham?
Yes.
And would you repeat your number?
It's 036071152.
1152.
Mm-hmm.
We've got $5 for you, Dolores.
Thank you very much.
Would you like us to mail that check to you, or?
Well, I think I would prefer it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well,
not right now.
yeah, we have a post office box for you.
Yes, well, I have, well, that's on my card too, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, well, please send it to the post office card.
We'd be more than happy to do that. Okay, and that's, what's your zip code in Bellingham?
Over here, it's 02019.
02019.
It was strange, you know, because yesterday I was not able to listen to the number, so I was wondering who had won yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, and I was right by my radio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, when I heard my number, I couldn't believe it.
You didn't think that we'd call your number, did you, huh?
I think so, no, either.
Well, you just never know.
Of course.
Well, I thank you very much for listening to our program, and we'll send a $5...
I'm very faithful. Every morning I listen to the program.
You're a faithful listener.
Very, very faithful.
Good, and I think you're going to enjoy today's program.
Okay, oh yes, because I know this man way, way, way back.
You know him from way, way back?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Where did you know him from?
Oh, well, I mean, I was going to school then, in St. Anne's School, and he lived not too far, and I was friendly with his nephews and nieces.
Oh, I see. So you remember him back then in social?
Oh, yes, so that tells you my age.
Well, he's only 84.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not that old, but I mean, I still know the family.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess the Jalbert family is well known in the Woonsocket area.
Very well known. Very nice people.
Thank you for your call.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
See you later. Well, she wins $5 in our Social Security contest, and we every day call out a number on the Social Security contest, and if you would like to participate in our contest, like Dolores, you know how to do it. You send us your number, and if we call your name out on the air or your Social Security number, you call us and get the money. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Going to be another sweaty day?
Yes. Nice warm day.
Mr. Jalbert.
He's right here in the studio.
Yes, I can see him. Does the name Florida Jalbert Menard mean anything to you?
Florida Jalbert Menard?
What's his name?
What's your name?
My name is Joel.
Joel. His name is Joel, but he wants to know, does the name, can I have that name one more time?
Florida Menard Joel. Jalbert Joel. Come on,
Florida Menard.
Oh, Florida Jalbert Menard.
Florida Jalbert Menard. Does that name ring a bell with you?
Yes.
He says yes.
What was she, your aunt?
Who was she?
I met so many people, my memory is not that good. Yeah, I apologize for not remembering.
He says you heard what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lived on Carrington for 50 years.
Uh-huh. Carrington Avenue?
Her relation, one of them was Jalbert, the lawyer, and also the judge. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know if it was in the same family. I had an uncle that had 5 sons.
Yeah.
And they would be about Mr. Jalbert's age. Mm-hmm. I was curious to know if it was from the same family.
Go ahead.
I would like to meet many of these old-timers that remember me and recall the early days. I would love to do that.
I know that. I feel the same way. I'm only 61, and yet I feel the same way as I'm getting older. I'd like to meet some of the people and talk over and reminisce the old days and social. I'll let you go with that.
Well, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You were brought up in the social district.
Yes.
What was the social district like back? Try to explain to a young guy like me who doesn't understand what social was all about back then.
Social was a nice little community of fellowship. People help each other, and it was a pleasure. You meet people on the street. Everybody know each other. Mm-hmm. It was beautiful. I miss it.
Was French the only language spoken at that time?
Oh, yes. Unless you taught French, you had no business in social.
It was for French people then.
Yes.
Eh? Your interest in, I guess when you were young, maybe, when did you see your first airplane fly over the sky? Do you remember that?
Yes. I was in Canada to represent the United States. Mm-hmm. In 1927, the Diamond Jubilee. Mm-hmm. I was there on a special assignment to represent the United States. And it's an airplane that came by, was forced down. And in fact, I could talk English, but the farmers could not talk English. Mm-hmm. So this man got a hold of me and said, "Don't leave me." The upshot was that I stayed with him for 2 days, barnstorming. Then he wanted to pay me. I said, "No, I want to learn how to fly your airplane." So we made a date to go to Missouri. He was a chief pilot. He would teach me how to fly. So when I walk in his office, he said, "Hey, the Frenchman." He took me up the next morning. We're up in the sky. We did all kind of aerobatic. And he said, "How do you like it?" I said, "That's great." I said, "You're not going to kill yourself to scare me." Because at that time, I was very deeply in sports. Mm-hmm. I was in good physical condition. And I've had about 10 airplanes.
Did you become a pilot?
I've been a pilot for 40 years.
40 years? And that was the beginning of your interest in...
That was my beginning of flying. Mm-hmm. Then I get the bug and I stayed with it.
Yeah. And did you expect to see aviation today, back then? I mean, could you ever see planes going as fast as they go today and so on?
Oh, no, not at all. Progress, you can't stop progress.
No, you can't.
We're flying old Jennies,
Old Jennies?
Jenny, OX Jenny. What? Curtis Jenny.
That's a type of airplane?
One time we landed in a field, barnstorming, and in those days when you have the trouble, you take banana oil and cloth, and the next morning we had a cow that chewed up the whole thing.
So what did you do at that point?
Well, we were barnstorming. You land in the field, people right in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Back to Woonsocket, you came from a family, according to the newspaper, there were 21 kids in that family.
That's right. My people were good athletes.
Yeah, I guess they were good athletes. A family of 21 does not permit a guy like yourself to get what we'd call formal education. So tell us about your education and how you got it. I mean, because you're a pretty smart guy today. So what happened back then? Tell me about your education.
I went to school as far as the 4th or 6th grade in French. But from then on, I had to go and work in the mill. Mm-hmm. I do not have formal education, which kind of held me back, because after I get my pilot's license, I thought I'd come back east, join the National Guard, and the first thing they asked me, "How many years of college you had?" you need 2 years of college. I failed everywhere. That's all they asked. They didn't ask me if I knew how to fly. I had a pilot license. That mean nothing to them. But do you have an education? So I get fed up. I'm going to Worcester, New York, Bennett Field, and Newark, New Jersey. So I said, well, forget it. I was making more money flying big kites than the pilot was making flying airplanes.
Isn't that interesting? Let's go to a phone call here. If you want to call, you can say hello, 769-0600. Hi.
Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Good.
Good. You talk to Mr. Jalbert.
He's right here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jalbert. How are you? How are you, Mr. Jalbert?
I'm fine, as you can see.
I can't see. I don't have... But you sound well. And I remember you when you used to fly your kites in the Italian field right off Robinson Street.
Right off of Robinson Street. You used to fly your kites, he remembers.
That's my testing ground, and I'm going to take a walk over there on top of Golden Ave to the corner of Robinson Street. And I would love to walk over there.
And it still looks like the same thing. You remember the big rock? The big rock on Robinson Street? They used to call it the Italian field.
He says, do you remember the big rock on Robinson Street they used to call the Italian field? There was a big rock over there.
Wasn't that at the end of Shalapur Avenue?
That's right. That's right. And I remember one time, I was just a small fry. I must have been about maybe 9 or 10 years old. That you had a lady in one of your rubber kites. I don't know if it was your wife or if it was someone that was working with you, but you had someone that was raised from the ground in that big box kite, and she was overhead from you with those big ropes.
That was my daughter, Dorothy.
That was your daughter?
She's fine. She's here with me today.
Is that right?
She's a big girl now.
Listen, I happen to be the nephew of Mr. Ayat, your very good friend.
Wilfred Ayat. I was with Fred Ayat yesterday morning.
You were with him this morning, and you were with him Sunday at the banquet. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
Right. Well, I happen to be his nephew.
Well, I'm glad that you gave us a call, and
I remember Mr. Jalbert from many, many, many years ago. In fact, he's a credit to the kite and all this stuff that this high-tech stuff that's brought out today. Mr. Jalbert is a credit to this.
Do you know?
He has something to say to you.
Yes.
You know that kite flying, like dolls and balls, kite flying is one of the oldest sports in the world.
That's right, and you are a credit to it, sir.
Yeah, it's a senior citizen sport.
That's right. That's right. Well, I remember you from many, many years ago. In fact, it's probably about 45 years that I remember you from. And you were quite a guy then, I'll tell you. And you've made very, very well with that.
If you can call Wilfred Ayat,
yeah,
tell him about our discussion here. He can arrange for you and I to meet while I'm here the rest of the week.
That'll be fine.
I'm scheduled to be in Newport.
I'm going to give him a call this morning.
Yeah, I'm scheduled to be in Newport on a Spinnaker proposition.
He's a good friend of yours.
That's
from many, many years back.
Thank you for your call, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Roger.
Okay. If you've just joined us, my guest today is somebody that I wanted to have here on the program a long, long time, and I want to thank the Demers family for...
Yeah, they're wonderful to us. Armand Demers and his wife.
Right. For arranging this interview. And Domina Jalbert is with us today. And let's take another phone call, all right? Hello, how are you?
Good morning, Roger.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jalbert.
Good morning.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Mr. Jalbert, I used to live on Golden Avenue, and I remember you as a little girl. I went to school with your daughter, Dorothy. I was just going to call to ask if you did have a daughter named Dorothy. She must be about my age, about 57. Would she be about that age?
What, she's asking whether your daughter Dorothy is around 57.
She might be 39 years old, this woman.
Yeah, right.
No,
I'd like to meet these people that call me. I'd love to meet them.
I remember him when he lived on Small Golden Avenue.
Yes.
Ask him if he lived there. About the third house up.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, did he? It's kind of hard to say, but I think he did lose his wife when he lived there, didn't he?
I don't know.
Ask him if he lost his wife when he was very young. I think
she was a wife at a young age.
Yes, after 2.5 years, I became a widow.
Yeah, after 2.5 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I remember Dorothy so well, and I did meet her someplace when I was about, when we were in about our 20s, and I had met her someplace, and she did recognize me. So if she's there, ask her if she remembers Claire Bertrand.
Well, we'll write down that name. She's not here in the studio.
No, but ask her if she remembers it. I lived on the big Golden Avenue.
Okay, we'll give that name Claire,
all right,
Claire Bertrand.
I want to congratulate him for entering the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your call.
Nice talking with you.
Bye-bye. Appointment.
Who was she?
Her name was and is B-E-R-T-R.
That's a married name, or?
She didn't. Okay. Thank you, Claire, for your call. And I'm sure probably Domina Jalbert is with us here in the studio, and we're just having a kind of a friendly little talk about all kinds of things. We're kind of jumping all over the place. How did you get interested in this kite business? Did you read about it in a magazine, or did some friends have it, or?
When I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
We were in Canada, big family, no money.
No money.
A lot of rags, a lot of paper. And to keep me busy, and she showed me how to fly them. But when you see, they would eventually conquer the world through aerodynamics and dynamics, and that's how I get started. Then we moved to Woonsocket on Golden Avenue, and I was more interested in kiting. What makes it fly? How come it flies one side one way and the next day another way? And I became interested in the pressure created by the wind. You see what it does. Where does that pressure come from? And I was getting involved, but today I'm a under Ram Air and the government, and started on Golden Avenue and here in Woonsocket.
Now, and the government asked whether you have 2 years of college anymore. Do they bother asking about that anymore?
No, because I give lectures all over the world. I'm a consultant to NASA, I'm a consultant to Pan American, and I have a lot of friends.
Oh.
Now so they are.
Let's talk to somebody else. Hello.
I'd like to congratulate Mr. Jalbert. 47 years ago in the balloon.
Naugatuck. Oh my God, United States rubber.
Yes, we were 12 girls from Woonsocket that went to Naugatuck, Connecticut, and Mr. Jalbert used to give us a ride. And I'll never forget him because I always read up on his whatever publicity they give him.
How was he able to give you a ride? Did he have a car that had 12 seats in it?
He had a car, but he wouldn't take all the 12 girls, but he used to transport us from Woonsocket to Connecticut. You ask him, he remembers that.
These girls that you used to transport?
I'd love to meet them.
47 years ago.
47 years ago?
Yeah, because I've been married 46, and it was just before I got married. Yeah, I had a boyfriend. I had to come home every weekend.
So you would stay in Naugatuck?
Because we were making the barrage balloon. Yeah.
What kind of balloon?
Barrage balloon.
Tell us about the barrage balloon. You tell us about it.
Well, that was in the boom in the U.S. rubber plant in Naugatuck, and they used to at night because it was a big secret. That's Mr. Jalbert. I imagine he remembers all that.
Those girls were working on a secret project back then.
Yeah, that was before World War II.
That's why I'd love to meet all these girls. We'd have a lot of fun to talking about it.
I think he'd like to know who you are. Are you going to say who you are?
Well, at that time, I was Alice Piersanti. Today, I'm Alice Fassett.
All right.
Yeah, there was quite a few of us girls. Well, 12 of us. We were sent out before U.S. Rubber opened in Woonsocket. Then we came back and we opened here.
What did they use this balloon for, Mr. Jalbert?
Prevent low-altitude bombing.
See?
It's like, let's say, a barrage balloon is like a very, very high picket fence. And they surround, and they fly them at 5,000 feet with a 5/16-inch steel cable. And when the enemy come out with a bomb, you have to fly over 5,000 feet at a high speed. So the trajectory of the missile bypasses the industry because the speed of the trajectory becomes the same speed as the airplane, like when you throw a stone. There's never been an industry in England destroyed by dive bombers.
I see. And it was this balloon
No, that's one. They had a series of
this
them.
type of balloon. And you were making them down in Naugatuck.
Yeah, and then it was inflated in the Yale Stadium. We had to go to the Yale Stadium. You know, the Yale University to be inflated because there was no place big enough for them.
That's where you tested them?
That's right.
Make sure that they were all right?
That's right.
And it took 12 girls?
Well, they sent 12 girls from here. We had to take a dexterity test to see if we were able to do this work because we worked in pairs. You know, you had to work like a girl and a man. We'd tape, and the man had to be strong to put the tape on. And
did you design this balloon?
I was just, later on, I was a part of the research and development.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just one of the person contributing my knowledge toward this effort.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for your call.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I think we'd like to get a spelling on that last name because how do you spell your maiden last name? P-I?
P like in Peter.
Yeah, P-I-E-R. P-I-E-R.
S-A-N.
S-A-N.
T-I.
T-I.
Yeah, and I remember with us, you know.
Pierre Santi.
I'd love to meet all your gals.
Domina, we had a good time when we were out there.
Thank you for your call.
I was young. We were 47 years ago.
Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Mr. Jalbert. But we have to take a break here and take some commercials so that we can pay the very expensive fee that Mr. Jalbert has charged us to have us on the program. Oh, no, wait a minute. He's here for free. I'm sorry.
Hey, for free take, for buy you waste time.
There you go. We'll be back with more of Upfront after this. Okay, we're back on the air. Pull your chair up so that we can get going again. Domina Jalbert is with us, and we're having a nice talk. It's like old home week for him, talking to some of the ladies that he's worked with, some of the people that were in his neighborhood, people that want to talk to you, sir. Are you ready?
I wish we had them all in the room. We'd have one hell of a time.
Here we'd have a reunion. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Sardine Man.
Yes, I'm right here.
Well, you started something, I'm telling you. They don't even have them at the Almac.
Well, I'll tell you, sardines.
Well, you should have gotten 727, whatever his name is. Would have made some money.
How are you doing today?
Not bad.
Good.
You?
Good.
Kind of warm, isn't it?
Yes. When are we going to get the sardines?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to call my my production house and have them released to the area again.
Well, you also call your broker. Maybe you can get something going.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we'll see you, right?
Okay, bye-bye. I'm a sardine lover. Do you like sardines, Mr. Jalbert?
From Norway or from Spain?
From Norway.
They're the best.
They're the best. There's no doubt about it. And from time to time, we talk about them here on the show.
In Norway, in the early 40s or mid-40s, I was selling kite-tune to the Norwegian government. And they use them when they go whaling. And they fly them, and they had at the end of the line was a harpoon. They would harpoon the whale and put up the kite-tune, then they go look for another whale. During those years, the whale was worth $5,000 each.
Ooh.
So we went whaling with the kite-tune.
How many countries have you visited?
All over the world. All visited. Well, I've been in the Far East. I was a guest of the Japanese government. I was a guest of the Chinese government. And they're wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. They treated you royally?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Want to talk to some more people? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, good morning. Mr. Jalbert, please.
Right here.
Good morning.
Mr. Jalbert, I went to Mount St. Charles and can remember you very, very well when you were coach up there, although I was not on the team. But I do want to congratulate you on your many achievements throughout your lifetime. But there's one little bit of trivia I'd like to ask you at the moment. Do you recall when you thought up of a game that was used by youngsters in the tank yards at near Mount St. Charles, when you were teaching us how to put a tire on a stick and pass it one to the other and try to put it in a basket?
All right, it was a game that he thought up in the tank yard.
Right.
With using tires?
Using the tire from a wheel, from a little wagon.
And what'd you do with this tire?
Well, you put it on a broomstick.
You put the tire on a broomstick.
You would twirl it around on a stick and you would pass it to somebody else.
Twirling it around.
That's right, that's right. My God, that's a long time ago.
Mr. Jalbert says, my God, that's a long time ago.
Yes, it was, Mr. Jalbert, and I was one of those kids.
That's right.
He was one of the kids playing the game when you were a coach.
I remember that very well.
Very good.
Thank you for your bit of trivia.
Very good.
Okay, bye-bye. Did you think that game up back then?
Yes.
Yep.
We had to keep people active. They were to keep people active, give something to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you did. Hello.
Yes, I'd just like to make a comment on the French-Canadian heritage and the people. My father, who would have been Mr. Jalbert's age, only went through the 4th grade. And over the years, when he was in his 60s, I would have put him along any college graduate in discussing any subject because he was such an avid reader and loved to learn and read and grow. And I've heard younger people, nieces, nephews, children of friends, make remarks because of some of the French-Canadian accents the older people have and some of the way of speaking English. And it feels wonderful to hear a gentleman of his background and how far he's come with such little formal education. I'm just happy for the French-Canadian heritage that you've got someone like him on the air, and I want to thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Said quite a bit, but let me ask a few questions from what she said. Has anybody ever made fun of the way that you speak because your French-Canadian background and so forth? And she said she's proud of you for how much you've accomplished with your limited education, and she said people have made fun of people who have a heavy accent. What?
I'm glad she mentioned that. She said the truth. Some of these professors have made fun out of me when I tried because I didn't have a formal education. Mm-hmm. And these professors today, they call me to give lectures. Mm-hmm. I give lectures at Pan Am, I give lectures to universities, to Harvard, MIT, and university. In fact, I have been made a staff member, honorary member of the Edmonds Community College in Seattle, Washington.
Ooh, that's quite an honor.
Now, from a damn fool, I became a scientist. Okay?
Let's take another call. Hello.
Good morning, Roger. Good morning, Mr. Jalbert. Yeah, I have 2 questions for Mr. Jalbert.
2 questions.
I'm curious where he lived on Golan, if it was Big Golan, whereabouts, or Small Golan.
Do you remember where you lived on Golden Avenue, Mr. Jalbert?
67, the second house from the bottom of the small...
Oh, I lived in a 3rd house from the bottom.
Okay.
Oh, I know where you are.
Yep.
Remember the
I
keyboard?
fought for the houses back in 1981 and 82. They wanted to knock them all down and build townhouses, and we accomplished to save them.
He said that in the early 1980s they were trying to destroy those houses, but this gentleman worked to save those houses in that neighborhood. What's your second question, sir?
The second question is, Golan Avenue, where did the name come from? Does he know?
Do you know where the name Golden Avenue came from?
Yes. Remember the old Bishop or Monsignor Golan?
Mm-hmm.
They had a castle on Wood Avenue, on Wood Avenue, and I think somewhere along the line, he probably, and through the Daniel family, there was some relation there, and they named the Golan Avenue, I believe, after Reverend Golan.
Okay, then, thank you, and it's very interesting,
I think so.
Roger.
Thank you very much.
Having him on.
Oh, yeah, I'm enjoying myself.
Hey, you should be on more often.
Okay, thank you, bye-bye. Mr. Jalbert, how did you end up in Florida, in Boca Raton?
Well, when the war ended with a cartoon, and this where we had a government contract, big contract, and I knew that America wanted bigger, better, which is the trend American today. Mm-hmm. And the cartoon at its limitation. Having had experience with barrage balloon and cartoon, there was a demand from heavier and bigger balloon. So I started my own business in Bedford Airport to make coated fabric, larger balloon, bigger and better. And then because of the temperature and atmosphere down here, I moved to Florida where it was more convenient to work with. You come in, the windows are all open, and the weather's nice. And I bought a plant down there, and we started in Florida.
Okay.
We transferred because of weather conditions.
Isn't there a lot of lightning down there, though, for experimenting in Florida?
No, most of my experimenting was done in conjunction with Pan American.
Now, when you say Pan American, are you talking about Pan American, the...
Pan American was controlling, they had a government contract to maintain the guided missile.
Is Pan American a company?
Oh, no, Pan American Airways.
Oh, Pan American Airways.
The branch of
airline.
Pan American Airways.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood. Hello.
Hello, Roger.
Hello.
I want to tell to Mr. Mr. Jalbert.
Jalbert.
I want to congratulate him to go on the Hall of Fame. And also, I want to ask him if he remembers Mr. Omar Gisou. He was married. That was his brother-in-law. Omar Gisou.
Omar Gisou. Hey.
He was married to your brother.
I know one of your relatives, Arsene Gisou, the piano player.
Well, that too. Those are relations, right?
That's right.
Yeah, well, my father-in-law was Omer, and your brother, Albert, was the brother-in-law of my brother, my father-in-law.
I know Rose, your mother-in-law, your grandmother, whoever she is.
Was my brother-in-law. Rose was the sister.
And Albert was my brother.
I was your brother, that's right. And he was my uncle.
They live on Dorchester Street.
What? Yes, I remember. And you know on that trivia, Roger?
Yes.
That was a mistake of that gentleman that called.
Oh, yeah?
Because that was the trivia of Larry this morning. He asks who was the mayor that left the place to go to Washington. And that's how they named Golden Avenue, because it was Mr. Golden.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you for correcting that.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
bye-bye. Let's take another call. Hello.
Hello, Roger. This is Vi Berard.
Hi, Vi.
I'm calling to say hi to Dom. Dom.
Yes.
I was with you on Sunday, and I'm Charles Berard's wife.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And I saw your good friend, Dr. Lou Berard, in early May. And he spoke of your friendship.
Dr. Lou Berard was my oldest, until last week or the week ago, living friend. We were altar boys together. He and I were altar boy at the first Mass, High Mass, that was held at Canton Church about 75 years ago. And I'm sorry to say Lou Berard passed away about 10 days ago. He was scheduled to come to see me here.
That's right. He would have been proud to have shared the day with you.
In fact...
And as you know, he was a bit of an inventor himself, and I think that was your close tie to each other.
That's right. I'm having lunch with Lou Berard, Charlie Berard's wife.
That's me.
My wife.
Tonight.
Tonight. That's her. Bye.
Oh, that's okay. That's tonight. My wife is my booking agent.
Okay, Dom, I'll see you tonight.
Okay, nice talking to you.
I'm proud of you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
I don't remember everybody.
Oh, goodness. We're having a good time. You've met thousands of people over your lifetime. Thousands of people.
All over the world.
Yeah.
I've learned how to talk Japanese.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about the war times. You said that you visited Japan and they were nice, but what about that period there around 1941 and how were things in the United States at that time?
Well, 1941, you know, we were at war.
Yes.
I was with the United States Rubber, and because of my experience in the field prior to that, I traveled around the country with big barrage balloon, demonstrating barrage balloon on. I was in Detroit, I was in various countries, I was in Naugatuck, and I was also in out in the Middle West.
Promoting
experience in Mishawaka, Indiana, because I was over there. I reported barrage balloon for the community, and I was flying balloons for myself, you know, and fly big kite. So I had a lot of experience with this kind of business. So I was in Mishawaka, I reported there, they put up the barrage balloon. Everything was fine, and the weather was nice. I walk around, but I'm on the balloon all the time. You never leave an aerial device until you can be there in emergency. So one of the men said, look, Mr. Jarvis, walk up and down. We can do that too. And I said, well, okay, give me a release. I can go back home. So they give me a release. And then when I get back in Woonsocket, I get a phone call. I said, Mr. Jalbert, the balloon, we had a storm and it came down in the tree. What shall I do? I said, okay, I'll tell you what you do. You go to the hardware store, buy an axe, chop the tree, mail it to me, and I'll take the balloon out of the tree. Then they got on that it was not that serious.
Yeah, that's the only way to tell them. We're going to have to take a little break here for another commercial or two, and then we'll be back chatting with Jalbert here on Upfront, the radio cable talk show. Recent recipient of the Rhode Island Heritage Hall of Fame honor, and we're certainly honored to have him with us today. We'll be Domina Jalbert. He's relaxing, having a good time. Tell us about that parachute that you invented. When did you invent it?
Well,
how old is it? Is it
24 years old.
24 years old.
But there's a new one coming out, so yesterday's obsolete.
Wait a minute, you're working on a new one?
Let me say that. The development of yesterday is the production of today. They'll be obsolete tomorrow.
Well, going back to this old 24-year-old parachute, when did you start working on it?
1960. I was making round canopy, round standard umbrella type. See, a round umbrella type is only a deceleration device. That means they come down straight and they oscillate. Now, I reported to Langley Field to show them this truth. And Mr. McFarland, he said, Mr. Jalbert, we are looking for a parachute with a glide ratio.
With a glide ratio.
So I came back to my laboratory for the next 5 years at my own expense. I never had a dime from the government for research and development. And I worked for 5 years. And one morning I come in the lab. I had flown into Cape Canaveral. And I look at my wing, I say, on the aircraft, and I was flying a Beechcraft. I say, hey, we're traveling. When you glide, you're traveling. So I came in, I landed, I measured the wing, measured the chord, the aspect ratio and all that. So I came in the laboratory, I took a piece of craft paper, heavy craft paper, and I designed what I wanted. And from this, for instance, barrage balloon, kites and balloon, I combined all these law of physics together. And at 4:30 in the afternoon, we were in the street, and flew the damn thing. Then I came to NASA.
That's quick research and development.
That was the foundation and the birth of the parafoil.
Very interesting. Let's take another call. Hello.
Good morning, Roger. Good morning, Mr. Jalbert. Directed to Mr. Jalbert. The past 3 years, I've got a correspondence with a gentleman in Washington, D.C., who is about your age and who is also very interested in kites in his younger days. I was just wondering if you happen to know him.
What's his name?
His name is Paul Garber.
Paul is a personal friend of mine. I made kites for Paul Garber in 1942. We're still very good friends.
That's wonderful. I know the funny thing is that my last letter to him mentioned your name because of the article that appeared in the Woonsocket Call about you, and I'm still waiting for an answer. He is a little slow in answering these days. I think he's a little under the weather, but I wanted to put the two of you together if I could.
Do you know Paul Garber personally?
Only through the mail. My family, members of my family have met with him in Washington.
Would Paul remember you if I mention his name to you?
Certainly. Certainly he would.
I'm going to ask the gentleman with me to give me your name.
My name is Dan Sadwin, S-A-D-W-I-N.
I'm going to I get in touch regularly with Paul. It's pretty old now.
Yes, you know, it's a small world, Mr. Jalbert, and it is funny how in the past few months we've met with several people around the country who happen to know people that we know, and it's made this world a much nicer place to live.
I'd be happy to mention to Paul that I've talked with you.
Yes, it's my pleasure too. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy a long life, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's talk about living long.
What?
Living long lives. How do you get to be 84 years old? I'm a young guy. I want to live as long as you do.
It took me 84 years to get here.
Yes, it does.
Just a matter of patience.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? Do you do any drinking? Do you do wine or beer or?
No.
No drinking. Do you do any cigarette smoking?
No.
How about the pipe?
No.
No pipe?
No smoking.
No smoking, no drinking?
No. And no carousing.
No carousing.
Lead a clean life. And that God gave me a good body. My body is sacred. It's not a toy. I respect it. And if our young generation done that today, AIDS would be on the decline.
AIDS would be on the decline. What about your diet? What about what you eat? I mean, are you a heavy eater?
My wife is a wonderful cook. I eat good, wholesome food. All these fast food, not for me.
So no hamburgers at the fast food restaurant?
Hamburgers, good.
Yeah. French fries?
Limit. Don't live on it. I like all good food. Good, wholesome food.
All right. So good, clean living is very important.
Clean living?
Well, what are you doing here in Woonsocket this week? You're visiting mostly with people?
I would love to meet all my friends. If there was a way, all these people that call, we could tell them, hey, we're going to be here a certain day. If we could only get together, we'd have one wonderful ball. That I would love very much.
It would be a nice reunion.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But Mr. Demers here has been very kind, very nice. There have been so many people nice to me.
Well, Mr. Demers's wife, she heard me talk about you on the program, and I said I'd sure like to have that guy here, and here they are. Well, thank you so very much for bringing them by. Let's take another call. Hello.
Hello, Roger.
Hello.
This is Mr. Norman Canoia. I am a member of the Greater Woonsocket Hall of Fame Committee.
Yes, sir.
And we have Mr. Domina Jalbert's name on the list. He's on the back burner, as to say, but some year, within the near future, he will be voted into our Woonsocket Hall of Fame Committee. Mr. Lionel Lajoie is the chairman of this committee. And every year we name one person, and Mr. Jalbert's been on the back burner for 2 years now. But so if he's patient enough, maybe about 85, 86, he may make it. But we know that he belongs there. It's just a matter where the committee will vote him in.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You mean I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame this year?
Well, he is saying that the Woonsocket Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He says that your name has been under consideration, and they think that maybe next year or the year after that the name will come forward. You think you'll live that long? Yeah, no problem, huh?
I'm going to live to be 118.
118. I like that. 118. Why 118?
Yeah, you'll be around too. You'll be about 35 by then.
Oh, I'll be. We'll be right back with our closing comments right after this message. Stay with us, please.
And the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to the right side. The first baseman, Grayson, has it. The ball game is over. I'm ready to play today.
Whether you're ready to listen, WNRI Radio Sports presents. Look at me, gotta be.
We're back to Upfront, the radio cable talk show. Just a couple of more things, Domina Jalbert. I understand that was it your wife that had a restaurant next to the Park Theater in Woonsocket?
Of course, she was the best restaurant, the best cook in that area.
Is that right?
Yeah, Billy's Diner.
Billy's Diner. Okay, because somebody had mentioned that to me yesterday. And there was one other thing. I do want to thank Armin and Doris Demers for arranging your interview. But we'll take one more call. One quick call, all right? Hello?
Hello. Could you tell me if there's any place that Mr. Jalbert will be to meet his old friends? That's a good question, huh?
Yeah. Is there any place that you will be so that somebody could meet you?
Yeah, his old friends.
His old friends.
I would like to appoint somebody, because I may have to go to Newport because of American Cup sailing. I'd like to come back and get them all together and have somebody arrange the meeting somewhere, somehow. What do you think? Sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Demers would.
Maybe we can arrange something, but right now there's nothing doing.
Oh, okay.
All right, maybe we can set something up.
Because my uncle used to go out with him, so I would like him to see him, and he's 83.
Your uncle's,
right?
Your uncle's 83?
Yeah.
What's your uncle's name?
George Hines.
George Hines.
Oh, hell, George, I'd love to see you. I'll try to reach you.
You did? Well,
yeah,
I have to call early in the morning because his wife is in the rest home.
Hey, George.
Yes? No, I'm his niece.
This is his niece calling.
Well, George and I used to go see Apple on the farm off Mendon Road.
Tell me about that.
And we went out stealing some apple. We jumped a picket fence. He ripped his clothes. So I came back home. I went up to my mother, got a needle, and I sewed his trousers. And when I was sewing his trousers, I also sewed his union suit on. When he came to take his pants off, he couldn't take them off. George Hines.
Yeah.
Hello to George.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, my old partner in crime.
Bye-bye.
You'd like to see him.
I'd love to, very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for your call.
Yeah, okay. That was funny.
Bye-bye.
That's the truth.
So you stole apples.
Yeah, they taste better when you steal them.
Oh, that's true. Anything stolen tastes better, yeah. No doubt about it.
We didn't steal them now. We don't steal no more. We borrow and forget to return.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Domina, thank you for being with us today.
I wish I could meet all those people.
Yes, I wish we could arrange a way for it. And again, I thank the Demers family. You've been a joy to talk to, and thank you, everybody, for calling. We'll see you tomorrow on Upfront. Have a nice day. Goodbye, everybody.
This has been Day Mornings.